Hi, welcome back to Dive Gear Reviews. Today we're taking a look at the Underwater Kinetics Blue Tang Titanium Dive Knife. Okay, let's just take a slightly closer look. Just remove it from the sheath. As you can see, this is a drop point version of the knife with this rather aggressive tip on the end. Has these large serrations on the reverse of the knife, very prominent, very sharp. Also has a line cutter built into the main body of the knife. The handle of the knife is made of this rather grippy rubber, but it feels a little bit more plastic than rubber. Also has a titanium pommel. I can't say too many good things about this knife. For what you should get for the money, you don't really. This knife retails about £90 to £100 in the UK, and comparable knives retail about £40–50, so this is twice the price, and you don't really get twice the quality. The best thing I can say about the knife is that it's made of titanium, and you aren't really worrying about any maintenance or any care, no oiling after a dive or anything like that. Your corrosion worries are really to a minimum. But and it's a very sharp knife, but it hasn't really been designed with divers in mind, in my eyes. If you look at the pommel, you can't really use it for signalling too well because genius of the design, they've run a plastic sort of screw down the middle, holding the pommel into the knife and not connecting the titanium of the pommel to the main body. They said this is due to reducing corrosion and electrical current conduction, but I don't really see the need for it. Using it for signalling is obviously marred by this because you don't have the metal on the end for tank banging, so you'd have to do it on its side if you really wanted to use it, but I'd just forget it altogether. It also doesn't have any lanyard point on the knife, so attaching this knife to your BCD or your wing is not easy at all. The sheath itself doesn't really have a very useful set of features when attaching itself to your wing or your BCD. It's really designed for attaching to your leg, but if you don't really want to do that, and you don't want to risk, say, puncturing your dry suit or having it in a difficult to reach place, there aren't really many features to facilitate you attaching it to a BCD or a wing. What I've done is I've just cable tied it. I've cut holes through my Trimix pocket and just cable tied it in multiple places and underneath, just so I don't lose it. And I've also put this elastic cord onto the end of the dive knife using some just basic cable ties, but it's not terribly secure. I've done the best I can, but there's no lanyard hole or anything like that, and there's no really obvious securing points on the knife. The handle itself is really short and stubby, and it doesn't really fit in the hand very well when using a dry glove or any kind of glove that you dive in with. Your hands would have to be exceptionally small, so the handle itself is a little bit flawed. If you're not using this with bare hands, it quickly becomes a problem. The serrations for me on the reverse are too sharp and too widely spaced and standing too proud for what it should be for cutting line. A lot of divers don't like having very sharp tips, just in case they puncture their suit or damage any equipment and that sort of thing. But there is a flat edge version of the knife available, but I have gone for the drop point, so no criticism there. Also, the release mechanism for taking the knife in and out of the sheath isn't really dry glove friendly. You see it's activated by these two small pins. So if you place the knife back in the sheath, you have to use your dry gloves and press these two small pins in and then pull. Also, if you're attaching to your BCD or your wing, the body of the knife doesn't sit flush to the sheath because of this raised portion. I've had to attach cable ties because there's no real other way attaching this sheath to your BCD or your wing flat. So it's not very well designed in that respect, and taking it out and operating the knife with gloves on is a problem. The handle is too short and it's not very grippy, and the mark portions for your thumb and your index finger and your thumb aren't terrific. So overall, not terrifically pleased with this knife. It did cost about £100, and I've certainly seen better knives out there. I'd recommend knives such as the SOG Seal Pup or that sort of thing. Might not be made of titanium, but they will outperform this knife, and they're far more durable. Features wise, hasn't really been designed intelligently with divers in mind. On the practical side of things, it could certainly do with a bigger handle. The serrations optimised for cutting rope a little bit better, and a more intelligent use of, more creative use of the sheath and the release mechanism. So I probably wouldn't buy this knife again, but I would opt for a titanium knife so you don't lose the edge and you don't have any worries of corrosion. So thanks very much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you like. Thanks.